Good day, and welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I am your host, the Voice of Reason. So the title of this video is Tigray, the newest independent state, or country for that matter. So will the Republic of Tigray, or whatever name it decides to choose for itself, will it become the newest fully independent nation state on our planet, in terms of being an entity completely separated from Ethiopia? Well, I believe that due to the current situation inside of Ethiopia, and due to the transgressions that have occurred inside of Tigray, I do not see any alternative to the matter of Tigray becoming a fully independent nation state. And then once that occurs, what happens between Tigray and its neighbors? What happens to its relationships between Tigray and Eritrea? What happens between Tigray and the border areas of Amhara? What does that look like? What relationship actually exists, if any? Could we see the Amhara region pull away as conflict continues to develop between the Amhara region and the regions in which the Oromo Liberation Army are active? Could we eventually see Ethiopia break up into 3 or 4 separate states? Is that possible? I think it indeed is. But first and foremost, I believe that the outlook for Tigray becoming fully independent at some point is probably going to happen before those other issues take place. But again, what would that look like? Would Eritrea withdraw its forces from the areas around Adigrat, Axum, and Shire? Would Eritrea attempt to annex areas of Tigray, making a peaceful, independent Republic of Tigray very difficult to maintain? And would we see continued armed conflict between Eritrea and Tigray? I think that is a distinct possibility in terms of the question of Eritrea. Does Eritrea change? Do we see the president of Eritrea, Mr. Afwerki? What is his status? Does he continue to reign into Eritrea, or as he continues to age and get older, does he pass away into the sunset and something else happens to Eritrea? Does Eritrea and Tigray look to form a coalition, an alliance, possibly a merger? Could that take place? I think it's something that could be considered. But again, I think circling back to looking at Tigray as a independent republic, or state, I don't see really any other option at this point in terms of what has happened, in terms of what Abiy Ahmed and Afwerki have done. We can talk about that the initial sell from Addis Ababa was that their operation, when I say their, Ethiopia and Eritrea, was in response to a Tigrayan attack. But we know now that that is not completely truthful. We know now that the Ethiopian armed forces and the Eritrean armed forces had been preparing for operations inside of Tigray for a significant period of time. We also know that there's quite a possibility that an operation before the actual Tigrayan operation took place occurred with the full knowledge of the two Ethiopian and Eritrean leaders. And we know that a partition of Tigray was possibly in the works between Abiy Ahmed and Afwerki. And that doesn't appear to be going quite the way they had initially anticipated in terms of the speed of their operation. And I think that has largely to do with the unbridled actions of the Eritrean army and the Ethiopian army, and some of the heinous war crimes that took place inside of Tigray that did not facilitate a peaceful ending to this operation. And there is a outraged populace now inside of Tigray that really wants nothing to do with Eritrea in its present form, nor do the people inside of Tigray want anything to do with the Prosperity Party and Mr. Abiy Ahmed. So the alternatives, the other options, really point to one course, and that is a fully independent Tigray.